You wake up tomorrow morning and you're on the street and you have nothing. You don't have a single contact in your network. All you have is the knowledge and experience that you've had throughout your career. How do you build up from that?
So I was having a conversation with one of my bros, and we pretty much was just chopping it up about how will we navigate life if we had to do it all over again. If we had to literally start from nowhere, no money, no car, no nothing, no bag at all. How will we rebuild ourselves? What's going on? This is your boy Juswan Glenn. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I would do if I had to restart, rebuild, start all over, start from scratch. This might resonate with a lot of people just simply because of the fact a lot of people sometimes they want to rebuild themselves, whether it's they want to start a new career or if they had an extreme low point and they want to get back to where they were or be better than where they were, whether it be because you got fired or whether it's because you start a new family or you done got kicked out of a family or maybe your girl done left you. It's a bunch of different reasons why you might want to start all over. So first things first, I will come up with a game plan. Straight up. You gotta come up with a game plan. The reason why is because if you're gonna do anything, you need to write it down. You need to have a set plan, whether you go to a coffee shop or whether you go to a library. The reason why I think this is really important is because once you write it down on paper, like once it's literally written on paper, now you're becoming intentional. And I feel like when you're intentional, you're a little bit more serious about your goals and it's a little bit more streamlined. So if you're writing down your goals, it's a better chance of you actually being able to stick to a plan that's going to get you a little bit closer to those goals. If you sit down, no distractions, and just put pen and paper, you could get so much accomplished. Now, while I'm writing down this game plan, the next thing I would do is I would write down a list of my current and future expenses. Now, let me break down why I said your current. Regardless of where you at right now, that's where you should start. So let's just say if you got to pay rent, pay for a phone bill, if you got a car note, put all those expenses down, right? Now, times of 1.5, whatever that is. Include groceries, include, minor shopping for just basic necessities, right? Now, what times that by 1.5? Reason being because we got to have some wiggle room. Everything isn't always going to be exact to the dollar. And then I would create another list that has my future expenses. Like I said before, we're making a game plan. We got to see where we at now versus where we're trying to be at. Now that game plan for the future expenses needs to be realistic. So don't put, I'm going to be, in a mansion or I'm going to be paying $4,000, $5,000 in rent at this new luxury apartment if you're not where you need to be at yet. So that luxury apartment can wait, even though luxury apartments is nice. Man, shout out to Jersey City, you already know. Now, once you got that number, you times that by 1.5, now you need to start looking at jobs that's going to actually pay you that 1.5. Obviously, we got to start working on our resume. If you're already working, perfect. You can skip this, move on to step number 4. But if you're not working, or if you don't like the job that you're currently at, you need to be working on your resume. You need to treat finding another job like a job. Make sure that your resume looks good and is professional. Practice having conversations with people and doing mock interviews. It's very important that you elevate yourself to the next level. Most people, especially millennials, have found out that you really could double your salary just by moving around every couple years. So if you do find yourself in a position where you got to rebrand and get a new job, it might not be that bad of a deal if you got to actually rebuild your resume, rebrand yourself, and move on. There's always a blessing out of every curse. All right, now moving on. Next on the list is making sure that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment about the next bit of content that you want to hear. No, I'm joking, but actually, no, do that. Back to what we're talking about. Next on this list is acquiring a specialized skill. Now, I know there's a whole lot of talk about high value people, what makes somebody high value. Well, I can break it down for you real simple. The first step before any kind of conversation or talk about high value anything is what can you provide to the market? If you're just flipping burgers and fries or you just have a license and you're able to drive and drop stuff off at Amazon, anybody can do that. And the market is going to pay you accordingly. But if you have a specialized skill, very specific, whether that be you're a doctor, whether that be you're a plumber, whether that be, yes, I said plumber, whether that be you're a software engineer, whatever it is, if you have a specialized skill, you are going to make that money. Now, we live in a digital age, so even if it's, knowing how to produce content for social media, that's a specialized skill. Build yourself, work on that. Work on that and make sure that that's your long-term goal, because you got to have a long-term goal if you're looking to really advance yourself. So getting that specialized skill is going to ensure that you are going to make a lot more money than you currently are. Even if you get the new job, never ever just rely on that one source of income. Still try to get that specialized skill. Keep working on it. Even if it's not for another 6 months to a year or even 2 years down the line. You working on getting a specialized skill is what's going to separate you from the average person. And last but not least, work on your damn credit. Please work on your credit. What you do on one thing is what you do on everything. So if you're not responsible with your credit, chances are you're not responsible with your money. Chances are you're not responsible with anything. Be responsible, be intentional. What you do on one thing is what you do on everything. Try to stay away from these people that'll charge you maybe $100 to $200 a month to fix your credit. Listen, I done even did it myself back when I was being an entrepreneur in that type of space, charging people to fix their credit. Sometimes it works, but the problem is you don't get to the root of the problem, which is you. All right, you're kind of lying and gaming the system a little bit to clean all that shit off your credit, and it might work. Usually it does. I would say about 50% of the time it does, but almost all of the time, your credit winds up being worse or just gets back to where it was at before. And it's because it's the mindset that you have. You gotta change your mindset. So if you change your mindset, everything else will follow. A credit score can be a good representation of how you actually treat your finances, and usually bad finances mean a bad quality of life, usually. Unless you hit the lottery or something like that, or you got a cousin that's in the NFL or NBA or something, I don't know. But for the most part, buckle down on your damn credit. You do yourself a favor. Nobody wants to be paying more to receive less. Trust me, I've been there. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm holier than thou. I'm somebody that, have lived a little bit of life, did a little bit of shit, got out of all the shit, and I'm doing all right. So that was my 5 tips for building yourself back up if you had to start all over again. These are legitimate things that I would do if I did have to start back over again. Please, you already know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so that way you guys will know when I'm bringing out more content. Also, let me know what you guys might want to see in the future. I'm still trying to feel my way around how I like this setup. If I don't know, I might change it, I'm not sure, And I got this bright ass light using the iPad Pro. Shout out to Apple. They make a good piece of equipment. I really like the M1 iPad Pro. It might be too damn expensive. I didn't necessarily need this shit. But yeah, so it's your boy Just One Glenn. We out.
You're listening to Just One Glenn.